All right, let's focus now. Deeply shocked by the deaths of the 6 hostages in Gaza, protests continue in Israel to pressure the government to enter into an urgent truce deal. On a day of a nationwide strike, protesters blocked a highway in central Tel Aviv, continuing their overnight protests in which at least 500,000 people took to the streets of the major cities.
Israel is under siege. With massive protests on the streets and strike calls paralyzing work in major cities of the country, on Monday schools were closed and municipal services remained shut for several hours. While the Ben Gurion International Airport near Tel Aviv was operating as usual, takeoffs were halted for 2 hours. The mass action is all part of the efforts to pressure the government to seek an immediate ceasefire in Gaza after the military recovered 6 bodies of hostages on Sunday. Israel says post-mortem examinations showed the 6 were murdered with close-range gunshots by Hamas. But relatives and demonstrators accuse Prime Minister Netanyahu's government of not doing enough to bring the hostages back alive.
There are still 101 hostages being held. 6 were alive last week, from what I understand, at least up until 48 hours before they were executed in captivity. So I hold everyone accountable, him, along with every stakeholder in the negotiation process.
On Monday in Jerusalem and some other cities, life appeared to go on as usual. But some private companies, like public transportation providers, partially suspended operations in support of the strike. Labor union Histadrut said it wanted to stop the abandonment of the hostages. It added only its intervention can shake those who need to be shaken. It was an apparent reference to the Israeli decision-makers, who they say are opposing a truce. 251 hostages were taken captive by Hamas on October 7. So far, Israeli forces have been able to rescue only 8 alive. Scores were released during a 1-week truce in November, the only one so far.
Today, I urge my government and all the states of the world to make a deal, make it possible, make it happen. It's too late for us, it's too late for Carmel. I will never hug her again. But 101 people can still hug their families. For them, make the deal, save lives.
US President Joe Biden says he is still optimistic of a deal. The US is grappling with the fallout, recalibrating its negotiation efforts after the death of US Israeli Hersh Goldberg Poland, one of the 6 dead hostages. Biden has said Hamas will pay for its crimes. Israel, however, is not letting up in its strikes in Gaza. Monday, the fighting coincided with the second day of localized humanitarian pauses to facilitate a vaccination drive, after the first confirmed polio case in 25 years, with the growing public anger on one hand and reports of the US planning to present a take-it-or-leave-it truce deal to the warring parties. It remains to be seen how the discovery of the deaths of the hostages will impact the possibility of the urgently needed ceasefire.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.